Yes, one length as they go past the boating area. You can see it's just a one length lead now to Leeds and York against the University of London. University of London, again, we get into the second half of the race, and as so often happens, particularly in small boats, the story of the race may change. University of London pushed on there, but the Leeds York City composite, Bayman and Edmonds, just pushed on and saw the danger, and I think they may have broken away. Is there actually clear water between them, do you think now, Helen?
I think there is there, Stan. It's looking like a little bit more length there from the composite crew rather than the UL crew at the moment.
Go Leeds York, how times change, says Vicky on Lee Loverseed.
Yes, it's extraordinary. University of London used to be one of the, well, they still are one of the leading women's boat clubs in the academic world, but Leeds and York City, these two young ladies, Brayson and Edmonds, really putting down a marker now.
Great to see a provincial set of clubs getting stuck in there at this level of racing and really kind of pushing on it, looking forward
and
to it.
To knit a double together like that, I mean, there is a lot of miles those young ladies must have undertaken, driving to and from Leeds and York. It's just one length between them. And meantime, we've moved on also, and the other half of the draw of Club 4s between Putney Town and Lee is underway. Putney Town on the what we would call the enclosure side and Lee on the far side. But it looks to me, just to round off the previous race, that Leeds and York City have drawn away from University of London as we come down towards the end of that race. Just coming down towards the chairman's enclosure now, and indeed Leeds and York City looking stronger by the stroke. It's not difficult to look stronger by the stroke when you have a race in your pocket, and they'll move forward and race again tomorrow. And University of London, length and a half down, that's it, their race is over. And now the Club 4s, we've got another half of the Club 4s, Putney Town against Lee. Helen, you've been keeping an eye on this for us.
Yeah, so interestingly, Lee were the quickest in the time trial this morning, so they've got the pedigree on this side of the draw to really go somewhere. Off the end of the island, they were settling down to 35, and Putney Town were at 36. Now they've lengthened out a little bit more now, and the rates are pressed out to now to 33, 34 apiece. Even though Lee were the quickest in the time trial, you can see that this is still a very close race between these two.
It's quite extraordinary. Putney Town, of course, they're directly across the river from the boathouses where the boat race crews disembark. Putney Town at Mortlake. No, don't ask me why it's Putney Town at Mortlake. And the Lee, of course, in the shadow of the Olympic Stadium. But another very tight race. On the far side, maybe Lee just about holding off.
It's looking close. Let's do a few name checks on this crew. So with the Lee crew, we're looking at Rebecca Munich, Lucy Stackpole-Moore, Lizzie Chapman, Caroline Newbury, and Nicholas Shepherd.
Well, we have a Lizzie Chapman here. How can you be in two places at the same time?
Can they be? There is only one Lizzie Chapman. You can tell them that.
But we've still got another race. All these races overlapping all the way. I think you can name check the Putney Town crew. Name check the Putney Town crew for us, Helen.
So in that Putney Town crew, you've got Rachel Dean, Deborah Oakley, Katerina Doherty, Lucy Bluff, and Heather Longstaff.
Well, again, very difficult to split the crews as they go into the second half of the course. Putney Town coming back and asking questions, but now we get the different camera angle. We can see Leah hanging on, but the crews, I think they're still overlapping. I think it's still about a length to Lee. We haven't managed to get any rates in the last few strokes.
No,
I don't think.
We'll
We've been busy talking. not like us to be sitting here talking.
There's so much action going on this screen. It's difficult to take away your concentration from this race. You can see Lee are just a little bit more together on their rowing than Putney Town.
And they're Lee at 33. And Putney Town at 34. Meantime, the next race has started, which is Leeds against Thames. But let's continue with Putney Town against the Lee.
I'd say the Putney Town Lee race has just crossed the line down. I think we're back on to
Right,
this
you're
next
absolutely right. The director's obviously more on the ball than we are. Mike, that's his job, so he should be. So Thames against Lee. We've got Thames on the left-hand side of the screen, and we've got Leeds on the right-hand side of the screen. And they've just come away from the end of the island. And, oh, there we are. The drone, bang on cue, shows us that just at
Wonderful
the moment...
view.
Just at the moment, the Thames B4 have a lead of, I think in the old days we called that a canvas, but of course these modern plastic boats don't have a canvas, but we still call them a canvas. That's the bit between the bow ball and the start of where the athletes see. You can see also, if you look down, that the coxes are at the front of the boat, not at the back of the boat as they used to be. Thames is Laura Phillips, Lucy Thomas, Anna Harrison and Louisa Curry, and lying down at the front of the boat and driving them along is Charlotte Carter. And then if we look at the Leeds crew, they've got Jessica Brush, Charlotte Milligan, Ella Stadler-Andrews, Emily Holt and Harin Woodjaya Thunga. Now, there will be a test later to see if we got that one right. What's the story of the race, Helen?
Well, it's interesting seeing we've got one of the few buckets for the Thames B crew. Again, Thames B, based on the Tideway, has got quite a large squad again this year, and be interesting to see whether they've targeted the 4s or the 8s still. It's very close between these two crews as they're coming past the web commentary tower. We're looking like Thames B is half a length up at the moment over the Leeds crew.
It's interesting that we still see some crews in the Club 4s where there isn't perfect technique, but the blade works good, and they've obviously done a huge amount of training because these girls are strong and fit. One of the exciting things I always think when we have the coxed 4s and the 8s is the people doing the job you used to do, doing the coxing, they're not letting you down your breed, are they?
No, not at all. It's certainly, particularly on this bucket, it's a challenge for the coxswain to manage the steering and also to make sure that particularly the side that's got the bucketing in, that timing is key to being on target.
What do you mean by bucket? Is that a technical coxing term?
Well, I mean, Stan, you're looking at you've got the where you'll have the outside pairing would be on one side of the boat, where the other side will be the central where two rowers will be on the same side.
What I call frig rig, you call bucket.
Yeah.
Tandem, I call it. Tandem rig.
Oh, and Lizzie calls it tandem. And Martin's just looking confused.
We used the bucket rig for the Irish Paralympic Cox for 5 years ago, and it was certainly interesting to start that combination where you were getting the timing on the bow side to make sure that it wasn't
I have to say, as a coach, I've always been in favour in 4s of close coupling or frig rigging or bucket rigging crews. I'm not sure if I'd accused some of the big hairy athletes I coached of, would you like to row in a bucket? I'd have got a very good response from them.
One of our viewers says, come on Leeds, do it for the province.
Oh, well, there we are. We've got an online feed that says, come on Leeds, do it for the provinces. And it's lovely that in this day and age we can have live feeds and interaction with our audience. And don't be frightened to get in touch with us, whether you want to be polite or whether you want to be rude. If you want to tell us any interesting facts about any of the competitors, we'll do our best to include that. As you can see, with 4-minute racing, if you think it's hectic out on the water, it's none too calm in here either.
Oh, it's very warm in here.
Where's the race going, Helen?
It's still very close between these two crews, and
Go on, keep on going.
Okay. So we've got Thames striking 35. We've got Leeds at 37. They're really trying to get back on terms with this Thames crew. They look like they're actually they're getting some momentum. This Leeds crew. So this is the for this round of the Leicester Trophy for the intermediate Coxfalls. It's second side of the draw where we saw the first half of the draw earlier on this afternoon. It's interesting to see the who will be the winner out between Thames and Leeds.
City of Oxford.
Well, coming past us now, we have City of Oxford, who are racing against Barnes Bridge Ladies Rowing Club.
The Barnes Bridge Rowing Club, in recent years, they won the intermediate Coxfalls. I think it must have been about 3 or 4 years ago now. It'd be interesting to see how this crew gets on throughout this race.
Certainly seem to have a very strong squad, don't they? And Barnes Bridge Ladies Rowing Club, a great place for young girls to go and learn how to row.
I can do a name check on that Barnes Bridge crew, and it's Clemmy Fontaine, Cara Clayhill, Sarah Thompson, Laura Oakley, and Anna Constantini. Forgive me if that's a wrong pronunciation for Anna's name, but that's the Barnes Bridge Ladies crew.
And then competing against them, the City of Oxford crew, Louisa Taylor, Lucy Martin, Caitlin Armstrong, and Corinne Lankworthy, coxed by Susanna Drowan.
These races are coming thick and fast because we've got the start of the next race as well has just begun.
Quite different, the techniques we're seeing here with the Barnes Bridge ladies rowing very long, much lower rate of striking by the looks of things, currently going over at 32.5. Sorry, that was the City of Oxford girls, and then Barnes Bridge rating 36.5.
Finish results, go ahead, over. And the result of race 54, which was another heat for.
So this is Barnes Bridge or City of Oxford? Oxford
Uh,
City are in blue, aren't they?
That's Barnes Bridge Nurse.
Yeah, okay. But despite the rate of striking, it is the City of Oxford crew that have just managed to get their noses in front as they come now hurtling towards the finish. And it looks as though we're now on to the final race of this division. This is Upper Thames Rowing Club on the Berkshire station racing against Thames Rowing Club A on the far station.
Naomi's racing again.
Oh my God, what's the matter with the girl? She's racing for Upper Thames.
So with the Upper Thames crew, they were striking 43.5 off the start, and with the Thames A crew, they were at 42. Now both crews have settled down to 36 on Upper Thames' side and Thames at 35.
So Thames Rowing Club, that's the crew of Jennifer Pollard, Rebecca Angwin, Joanna Yeager, Sarah Newton and Eleanor Jane Conway.
And the Upper Thames crew name check is Gabriella Holleran, Emma Peacock, Rihanna Cairns, Sally Pollock Morris and Zoe Thomas coxing.
This is when I can really tell that it's been 30 years that I've been involved in Henley Women's Regatta, because one of my coxes back in 1987 was Nikki Zarak, who then became Nikki Halloran, and that is her daughter, Gabriella Halloran, who is racing there in the Upper Thames crew. Nikki, now Angelou, as she is called, and I don't think she's here today. I think she's over in Europe somewhere on holiday, but I'm sure she'd be really proud, or I'm sure she is really proud, I should say, to see her daughter in the bow seat of that Upper Thames 4. And of course, grandfather Arnie Zarak would be extremely proud. I'm sure he's here today. Well, and it's Upper Thames.
Yeah.
Upper Thames on the near side, who have got a slight lead over Thames Rowing Club on the far side. In fact, looking at the angle there from the camera, it looks like they have more than a length's lead now. And some good rowing coming down from those girls. Obviously, local to the water, so they know the course really well and know exactly when to expect those little swirls of wind, when to expect a bit of wash if there's somebody coming up outside the booms, and they're taking it all in their stride. Unless, of course, that's Gabby coxing.
Oh, it's Zoe Thomas that's coxing that Upper Thames crew, and she's been a member there for a number of years, I seem to remember, and I recognise the name floating around at Leander as well, so it's a very high-class cox in the steering seat for Upper Thames.
And a really good race between the two crews, but it's Upper Thames. They've now got clear water over Thames Rowing Club A crew, and that crew there of Jennifer Pollard, Rebecca Angwin, Joanna Yeager, Sarah Newton, and the race of the coxes, Eleanor Jane Conway versus the experienced local girl Zoe Thomas. Upper Thames now really starting to sit up and wind it up to the finish, and they've now taken another length of water over Thames Rowing Club A. Well, I think the result is really not in dispute now. This last of this race number 56.
Well, in which case, senior doubles.
The intermediate coxed four. Club coxed four, I should say.
Yeah.
Racing for the Leicester Trophy. Oh, Leicester Trophy, not Leicester Trophy.
Do you want me to do the results of the senior doubles then?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Well, since the result does not seem to be in doubt in this final race of the intermediate coxed four, we'll come across to Dave Collingwood to give us some results.
Stand to the rowing world. Yeah. Right, okay, we need to give you the results of the senior double sculls, race number 49. Clack and Bowman from Time beat the Walters sisters from Tideway Scullers, the verdict half a length, the time 5 minutes 44. And then in race 50, Oxford Brook, Green and Brown went through because Cardiff University and Cardiff Metropolitan used Janes and Baines. They hit the booms, they did finish the race, but the verdict, of course, was then easily 5 minutes and 56 seconds. Race 51, which was also a first round of the senior double sculls. Bath University, Stoker and Broglia beat Isle of Ely, Marnia and Thompson by 3/4 of a length in a time of 5 minutes and 49. And the last of those senior double sculls first round races was that Leeds and York Composite, Brayshaw and Edmonds, beat University of London, Wilkes and Adar by 2 lengths in a time of 5 minutes and 36 seconds. And we haven't yet got the result of the race that's just finished, but I will quickly give you the 3 races from Club 4s that have finished. Lee Rowing Club beat Putney Town in race number 53 by a length in a time of 5 minutes and 28 seconds. Thames B beat Leeds by half a length in a time of 5 minutes 46. And Barnesbridge Ladies lost to Oxford City. Oxford City beat Barnesbridge Ladies in race number 55 by a length and a half in a time of 5 minutes and 37 seconds. And we'll give you that.
Well, you mentioned Bath University in the senior double scull. That was Bath University A that raced and won earlier, and we've got Bath University B racing now against the University of Exeter. In the Bath University crew now we have Steph Clutterbuck and Laura Macro, and they are racing Isabel Lingard and Oluwasun Olusanya from the University of Exeter.
It'll be interesting to see how Bath get on in this race, considering their A crew has just gone through in the other half of the draw. It's looking pretty close at the moment between both crews, and there's a lot of shouts on the towpath for the Bath crew.
So this is University.
That's Bath.
So they're rating 33.
So Bath is at 33, and you're looking at Exeter at 35. Just having a little bit of a switch around on these seats up in the commentary tower, and it's just with the sun beating down, it's really difficult to see the screen at times. We're having to use all sorts of methods to be able to keep up with the progress of all these crews. But at the moment, it's looking like Bath University B got a commanding lead over Exeter University. So Bath University, they're one of the start centres for developing quite a few their current internationals. We've got Sam Corty that's rowing in the senior women's squad now, has come through, and it's great to see so many Bath entries here this weekend. Looking at the screen at the moment, it's difficult to see what the distance now is on Bath University against Exeter in this senior double sculls for the Rosie May McLaughlin trophy. Looks like Bath have come out to a really commanding lead now over the Exeter double, and you can see Megan and Carlotta are really just pressing away from Exeter with each stroke. So we're winding up towards the finish now. It's that Bath University crew is storming away. And now we're on the course. We're also looking at race number 58, which is the next heat of the senior double sculls, and this is between Oxford University Women's Boat Club on the Berkshire station and Molesey Boat Club on the Buckingham station. It should be an interesting race between these two crews. As we're coming in towards the finish zone for the previous race, race 56, with Bath University and Exeter University, it looks like we're going to be seeing Megan and Coletta in the next round of this trophy.
So as they come past the commentary tower now, it is Molesey Boat. It is Molesey Boat Club, who just have a slight lead. It's looking very tall, the girls in that crew. Oxford University, though, sculling along very strongly. Of course, Oxford University Women's Boat Club, coached by Alison Williams. I have to say that, she's an Aussie. So Alison, who has a great pedigree in university rowing, and this crew looking very strong indeed under her tutelage. Alison Williams, who was a university cox at the University of Sydney in Australia, and much medalled, very senior and highly respected cox over there in Australia. Really great to see her first of all go to Canada, where she was the head coach at the University of Edmonton, and had great success over there. Obviously a really difficult boat race for them earlier on this year, but the whole squad regrouping and surging forward under her head coach. Having a really fantastic race now against Molesey Boat Club, neck and neck as they progress down the course.
I'm afraid the camera's just panned away from the racing on that race at the moment, and they're getting a overview of the whole area of Henley at the moment. Now it's back with the race, and it's looking like Molesey Boat Club looking a little bit longer in their finishes at the moment than Oxford University women. Be interesting to get rates on those two boats. We'll just take a clocking on that, and just Molesey
confirming
are at 33, and Oxford University women are at 34. just hearing a few shouts from the towpath for this Oxford University women's double. And as we're panning out, you can see the
all these crews racing here are trying to get through to the next round, which is tomorrow, being held in the afternoon. The first of the quarterfinals being held at 3:36 London time tomorrow, and that's going to be a race between Tyne and Oxford Brookes. The next one at 5:40 will be Bath A and Leeds York, and we already know that Bath B, winning their race just now, will be racing the winner of this next race. This is Oxford University Women's Boat Club against Molesey Boat Club, coming into the finish now. And coming off the start, Durham University and Worcester Rowing Club and Worcester University Composite racing in race number 59 on the programme.
No, just come through to the finish on that the race for Molesey and the Oxford University women, and it's just panned round to the camera's just panned round to the start, and just looking at the even actually the race after. So that's looking at the Durham and Worcester. So it looks like Durham are in the lead on that the current race, which is race 59, which is the senior double sculls between Durham University and the Worcester Rowing Club and Worcester University Composite. Durham are striking 34. And that name check for the Durham University crew is Emily Grant and Naomi Doyle. With the Worcester Rowing Club and Worcester University Composite is Ernest and wow, that's a name to pronounce. I might have to ask you for a better check on that one.
Oh yes, Katrina Ernst and Gidra Rakausa Kaiti.
So we're looking now at the two crews, and it looks like the Worcester Composite is making the best of the sunshine now and pressing away from the Durham University crew. Now it looks like Worcester Rowing Club and the composite crew has just kind of settled down into a little bit more comfortable rating there. So it's got a commanding lead over the Durham University crew, and it's many lengths on that. It's good to see Worcester have got a resurgence over the last couple of years. They've had quite a few men's crews making it through to Royal, and now seeing quite a few of the women's crews are making hay and driving through to the higher levels of the women's Henley Regatta, and we're looking forward to seeing them racing again tomorrow afternoon. Check that, actually, tomorrow morning be the next race. Getting ahead of myself there, and we're also seeing on screen is the start of the next race, which is race 60, and that is between Imperial College B and Reading University A. The Imperial College is on the Berkshire station and Reading is on the Buckingham station.
In Imperial College, we have Georgia Hellard Tim and Helen Wood, and representing Imperial College B. And in the Reading University A crew, we have Lucy Ryan and Loretta Grove.
I'm pretty sure part of that Imperial College double is their previous trialist, Helen Wood. Be interesting. They've obviously got a strong setup if she's sitting in the B crew for this racing season. Looking at the crews now coming off the end of the island, and you can see that the Reading University crews seem to have had the better start and settling in, and you can see now that they're actually moving a little bit further away from the booms, and the cox in me would say that that's the steering is just questionable as to whether they're trying to wash down the other crew, but looks like the umpire is happy with the lines at the moment, because Imperial are a little bit closer towards the booms on the Berkshire station. But it's interesting. Reading University, I'm sure they're still a start, and they're 29. And we've got Imperial that are 35. At 35. So we've got a higher rating in that Imperial crew, and they're just not quite getting on top of their catches at the moment. They're just placing it in, and just the stream maybe just letting them get a little bit away from them. Whereas that Reading University crew is really kind of putting their authority on this crew. So this is the final heat of this series of the senior double sculls for the Rosie May McLaughlin trophy, and this is between the Imperial College B crew on the Berkshire station and Reading University on the Buckshire station. Bucks. And now we're looking at the screen, and it's quite a bit of a shadow to get to see them, but Reading have really got on top of this, and they're nailing those catches, and they're just accelerating that boat away from the Imperial crew, and they're striking a little bit higher, that Imperial crew, to try everything. They're throwing the kitchen sink at it to try and get on terms with this Reading crew, and it'll be interesting to see as we're starting to wind up towards the boating racks, to see how this crew is going to pan out. I'd say out of these two crews that probably Reading is more used to these calmer waters than the Imperial Club. It'll be a little bit. It'll be a very calm day on the Tideway for these kind of conditions to be racing in. But there's a lot of experience in that Imperial College crew, so I'm surprised that they're not there. It's not quite getting there with getting on terms with the Reading crew.